Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Shivanayi Krishna Krishna Mutare, Sri Krishna Rama Acharya Tanai Kari Putani, Gaura Katha Jamdai, Nirvigram, Mukam Karoti Vacham, Padamam Mande Shri Guru Dinata. Paramamadevam Sri Chaitanya Ishwar. Must be able to see the deities. I just see the. Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you for coming. Today we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 60. Chapter entitled Krishna Teases Rukmani, text 15. Please repeat after me. O Palabham Pati Prema. Upalabham Pati Prema. Pati Vartyam Chate Nage.
Pati Vradam Chate Nage.
Pati Vartyam Chate Nage.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage.
Yadvakyaischayam Yamanayam.
Yadvakshaischalmanayam.
Yadvakyaischal Yamanayam.
Yadvakshaischalyamanayam.
Nadir Mahir Apakarsati.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita.
Upalabham Pati Prema.
Upalabdam Pati Prema.
Pati Vatyam Chate Nage.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage.
Yavakyas Yamanaya.
Yadvakyaischalmanayam.
Nadir Mai Upakarsita.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita.
Upalabham Pati Prema.
Upalabdam Pati Prema.
Pati Vatyam Chate Nage.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage.
Yadvakayas Yamananaya.
Yadvakshaischalmanayam.
Nadir Mai Upakarsita.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita.
Upalabdam Pati Prema.
Upalabdam Pati Prema.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage.
Yadvakyaschalayamanayam.
Nadir Mai Upakarsita.
Nadir Mai Upakarsita.
Upalabdam Pati Prema.
Upalabdam Pati Prema.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage. Yadvakyaschalyamanayam.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita. Upalabdam Pati Prema.
Upalabdam Pati Prema.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage.
Pati Vatyam Chate Nage.
Yadvakyaschalyamanayam.
Yadvakyaschalayamanayam.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita.
Nadir Mai Apakarsita. Mataji. Upalabhyam Pati Prema.
Pati Vratyam Chate Nage. Yadvakyaschalyamanayam. Nadir Mai Apakarsita.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation, O sinless one, I have now seen firsthand the pure love and chaste attachments you have for your husband. Even though shaken by my words, your mind could not be pulled away from me. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the following verse describing the pure love between Rukmini and Krishna. Sarvata dam saratitam satyapi dvam dvavasam karane yad bhavam badhanam yo no sa prema prarikitita when the affectionate bond between a young man and a young woman can never be destroyed, even when there is every cause for destruction of that relationship, the attachment between them is said to be pure love. This is the nature of eternal loving affairs between Lord Krishna and his pure conjugal associates. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So today, this verse here spoken by Krishna in appreciation of Rukumini Devi. So this chapter starts actually by the last pastime. The last pastime was Krishna went to kill the demon Baumasura. So after killing demon Baumasura, Krishna went to see King Indra to return the earring of Aditi and the umbrella of Varuna. So after returning these items to King Indra, Krishna decided, I did so much work, I deserve some reward. So he took the Prajapati tree, the Parijata tree, Parijata tree from Amaravati. So after Krishna took that, because everybody there knows he's the supreme lord, everything belongs to him. But somehow or other, this Indra found fault with that. You see, Indra found fault with Krishna because he took the tree without his permission. It's not that he took the tree, no, he took the tree because without his permission. So there was a argument between Indra and Krishna. After Krishna did all the work of killing this terrible demon, that saved them from so much difficulty, gave returned back their property. After doing all that, Indra wanted to fight with Krishna. So Krishna fought with Indra. Indra lost. Indra quietly went back to his palace. So the point here is made that sometimes people who are in a mode of passion, who are very materialistically engrossed in attached to sense gratification, they become like this, very ungrateful. They become ungrateful. Just like King Indra. Indra is showing one character. So after coming back from taking this Parijat tree and giving it to Satyabhama. Okay, Satyabhama was very happy. She was very happy. She got the tree. Why? Because she was envious of Rukumani. Why? Because Rukumani got Parishta flower from Narada Muni. So Satyabhama was very envious. Because of that, Krishna had no choice but to go and get this tree for her to satisfy her. So Krishna here is acting as a perfect and chaste husband, a very hand-packed husband. Whatever the wife wants, I'll give, no problem, like that. No? So while this is going on, Saint Krishna expanded himself as a Rukumani husband. That Krishna was looking at Rukumani and he was seeing, Rukumani just saw Satyabhama got a tree. She got flower only. She got tree. Satyabhama got tree. Rukumani never showed any enviousness, no enviousness in her heart whatsoever. She was happy. She was sincere. And Krishna was looking at this and he was amazed, this Rukumani is really I cannot begin to even understand her. Krishna is saying, I cannot even begin to understand her. Despite so many things that happened to her, she got right to complain as a wife. She's my wife. She got right to complain. Krishna is saying here. She got right to complain, but she never complained. She never made any noise. She was not envious of anybody. She's not envious of her co-wife Satyabhama. She got flower only. She got tree. So many things. Never complained. And then Krishna also noticed that when Krishna kidnapped her, she was under great distress because her family did not approve this. She was kidnapped. The father was saying, how can do like this to me? I actually want you to bury my daughter, but don't do like this, like that. All Kshatriyas being very upset, and all the kings upset that Krishna kidnapped. Her brother got upset, got shamed, and all that. She was very much in distress. But she never opened her mouth to complain to Krishna, never once or so. And then here it is explained that while in the palace in Dwarka, Rukumani got news that her brother Rukumani was killed by who? By Balaram. Who is Balaram? Krishna's brother only. She never say anything. She just keep quiet. She never say. So Krishna was scratching his head. No, I don't understand this now. You got right to complain, lah. You married life almost such thing as husband will complain to wife, that is normal thing. So Krishna was scratching his head. No, he said, I don't understand. No. So Krishna in his mind was thinking, come to think of it also, I've never seen Rukumani angry. I've never seen her give, sidelong glance like that. No, she never do all that. No. So Krishna was thinking, what will happen if I go to tease her? Krishna teasing Rukumani, let me tease her. This is normal between husband and wife. The husband tease the wife tease the husband. All this is loving exchange of husband and wife. So this here is explaining also that Krishna also had this desire. What would Rukumani look like if she had anger on her face? Let me what she would look like if she was in distress. So Krishna decided to tease her. Huh? Okay, so this is what Krishna says. Okay, just listen. The Supreme Lord said, my dear princess, you were sought after by many kings, as powerful as the ruler of planets. They were all abundantly endowed with political influence, wealth, beauty, generosity, and physical strength. Since your brother and father offered you to them, why did you reject the king of Chidi and all those other suitors who stood before you, maddened by Cupid? Why instead did you choose us who are not at all your equal? So Krishna is making a hint here. He's just teasing here. He's making a hint here to Rukmani that these kings all know this king of Chidi is Sisupala. He's saying also very, very qualified, very rich, very great, very powerful, very intelligent, all great, But why did you choose me? He used the word us here because this is Dwarka. Krishna expanded himself 16,108 times. So there's not one Krishna. There was 16,108 Krishnas. So he's used the word us here because of that. So Krishna says, why did you choose us? I was actually a cowherd boy in some village. That's what Krishna is saying here. Okay. Terrified of these kings, O lovely browed one, we took shelter in the ocean. We have become enemies of powerful men, and we practically abandoned our royal throne. So Krishna is saying here that these powerful kings, they have so much enviousness towards Krishna that they became his enemy. Krishna is saying that out of fear for them, I ran away from Hastinapur and hid in the ocean, meaning Dwarka. That's what he's saying here. I ran away from these kings and I hide away in this ocean. I was trying to. He's saying that I'm very fearful. I'm a coward. You married a coward. That's what he's saying here to her, teasing. Oh, fine browed lady, women are usually destined to suffer when they stay with men whose behavior is uncertain and who pursues a path not approved by society. Now he's saying that, in my past life as a coward boy, I had many girlfriends, That's what he's saying. You go and marry a man who got so many girlfriends. Some not only that, I abandoned them. I broke their heart. That's what he's saying. We have no material possessions, and we are dear to those who are similarly have nothing. Therefore, O slender one, the wealthy hardly ever worships me. So he's making another point here. He says, I'm very poor, very pichekaren. I got no money. Those who don't have money also worship me. Those, my devotees also, they also got no money. They also got no wealth. They also worship me. And the wealthy hardly ever worship me. And the wealthy people who are very, very wealthy, very rich, they don't worship Krishna, and that is true actually. They don't worship. Those who are very interested in wealth and sense gratification, they rather worship devas. Because very easy to get what you want. You worship devas, namely Lord Shiva, Muruga, Durga Ma, Ganapati. Very easy. You worship them, you get what you want. So those who are actually interested, who are actually very, very wealthy, they don't worship Krishna. They're not interested in Krishna. But I like to say here this one point. Every time I read this point, I like to say that the fact still remains. You go to India today, some of the richest families in India, they are all worshippers of Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayana, Sita Rama, or Narasimha Dev. They are rich, very, very rich families in India. Why is that? We will find out later. Marriage and friendship are proper between two people who are equal in terms of their wealth, birth, influence, physical appearance, and capacity for good progeny, but never between a superior and an inferior. Now, Krishna is saying that since I was a cowherd boy, I'm actually Vaishya. You are a princess, you Kshatriya. So, how can a Vaishya man marry a Kshatriya woman? It's not recommended. It's not that in Vedic culture, you don't, a man should marry equal or lower. If you're a Vaishya, means you marry a Vaishya woman or you marry a Sudra woman, like that. So he's saying here now, because I was a cowherd boy, I'm Vaishya. So you're a Kshatriya queen. So why you accepted me as not proper? Oh, why there be not being far-sighted, you didn't realize this, and therefore you chose us as your husband, even though you have no good qualities and are glorified only by deluded beggars. Again, he's making the point. You not very intelligent. You made the wrong decision. You marry me, you know, and you married someone who's only worshipped by beggars, by sages lah. Sage got no property. What? Sages. Now you should definitely accept a more suitable husband, a first-class man of the royal order who can help you achieve everything you want, both in this life and in the next. So now he's suggesting to her, I think you should divorce me. You go find a better husband. Kings like Sisupala, Salva, Jarasandha, Dandavakra all hate me, oh beautiful tight one, and so does your elder brother Rukmini, your brother Rukmi. It was to dispel the arrogance of this king that I carried you away, my good woman, for they were blinded by the intoxication of power. My purpose was to curb the strength of the wicked. Oh, this is the one called Rukmini, very worried already now. Krishna is saying that actually I married you not because I love you. I married you because I wanted to break the arrogance of all these kings, the Salva, Jarasandha, Dandavakra. We care nothing for wives, children, and wealth, always satisfied within ourselves. We do not work for body and home, but like a light, we merely witness. So he's saying that, actually, I am not interested in married life. This is what he's saying here. He's saying I'm more like a sage. I'm like my devotees who worship me. They're all devotees, sages. They want to renounce. I'm so like that. So this is what Krishna said to Rukmini. After when Rukmini heard this from Krishna's lips, she became shocked. She was shocked. She said, I never heard my husband talk like this. Why is he talking like this? And all the while Krishna was saying all these things, Rukmini at that time she was fighting him. She was fighting Krishna, and she was so shocked that the fan fell from her hand. And she just looked down and tears came into her eyes. And she was so hurt. Girls, when they are really, really hurt, their mind just go focus, and they'll just, and what she did was she took a toe and she's like drawing on something on the ground, on a toe, to distract the mind. She was so much distressed. So much distressed that Krishna talking like, why is he talking like this? And what happened was, there was tremor in her heart. She gabra already, tremor in her heart. She became so distressed that she fainted. When she fainted, Krishna immediately he got up. He manifested 4 hands, 2 hands to pick her up, one hand to adjust her hair because the hair was it's just, and then another hand to wipe up tears from the eyes. Krishna so hearted immediately from 2 hands to 4 hands. Okay, and then when she came back to consciousness, she began to reply to her, and this reply actually is very interesting and very important for all of us. Why? Because what Krishna have said here, all the reasons he's teasing, Krishna is teasing, but all of these actually can easily, for those who are preachers, you will come across such objections from people who are envious of Krishna. Number one, all that Krishna has teased Rukmani. He said, I'm a village boy. What like you know, I go and break girls, village girls' heart. All of these are the reasons that you will hear from those who are envious of Krishna, and they will criticize Krishna, and they will say all these things. Okay, this is number one. And number two, for those of us who are progressing in spiritual life, when you cultivate such knowledge, such doubts will come to your mind. These are all stumbling blocks in your progress to spiritual life. So the answer that Rukumani gave is worth studying. It's very worth studying. I cannot explain to you. I'm reading from this book because the translation and the purport for her answers here are very highly philosophical. This one, Srila Prabhupada, he gave answer here. He wrote it in a very simple to understand way. Why am I looking here? Okay, I'm looking in the wrong place. So when she came back to consciousness, she began to reply to Krishna. So this is what she said. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, your statement that we are not fit combination is completely right. So sorry, my eyesight is going. It is not possible for me to come to the equal level with you because you are the reservoir of all qualities, the unlimited supreme personality of God. How can I be fit match for you? There is no possibility of comparison with you, who are the master of all greatness, controller of the three qualities of and objects of worship of great demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. As far as I am concerned, I am the product of the three modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature are impediment towards the progress, advancement of devotional service. When and where can I be fit matched for you? So she's stating a fact here. So she accepts the fact that Krishna, you are the supreme personality of God. Where is there anyone equal to you? There is no one equal to you. There's no duplicate like you. There's nobody like you also. So she's making this point. And also at the same time, she's taking a very humble approach. She's saying that I am the product of material nature. She's taking our position. But actually, it is revealed this chapter that she is actually non-different from Lakshmi Devi. She is non-different from Lakshmi Devi herself. She is Lakshmi Devi herself. Okay. This is the first tease that Krishna tried to tease her. Okay. Then the second one, my dear husband, you have rightly said also that being afraid of kings, you have taken shelter of the water of the sea. But who is the king of this material world? I do not think that the so-called royal families are kings of material world. The kings of the material worlds are the three modes of material nature. They are actually the controller of the material world. You are situated in the core of everyone's heart when you where you remain completely aloof from the touch of the three modes of material nature. And there is no doubt about it. So she's saying here that who are these kings? You are saying Salva, all these Jarasandha, Supala, Who are these fellows? These fellows actually they are under the control of three modes of material nature. The real lord of this material world are three modes of material nature. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 14, he says, Daivisa Gudamayi Mama Maya Durajaya. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome. This is the point she's making here also. This whole world is governed by these three modes. And these so-called kings that you're talking about, they are puppets under the string of these three modes. They are simply puppets. They are nobody. Therefore, she's saying that, my dear Lord, you are seated in your devotee's heart. And in your devotee's heart, you help your devotee to overcome these three modes. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Trai Gunya Visaya Veda, Nistrai Gunya Bhavarjuna. These Vedas, all the scripture, they deal mainly with these three modes, Sattvika Guna, Rajaguna, and Tamasa Guna. They deal mainly with this. That's why we are not recommended to read all the scriptures, because we don't have the intelligence to decipher it. Srila Prabhupada say only read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because it gives you the solution, how to overcome. Krishna says, Nistrai Punya Bhavarjuna. Krishna is telling Arjuna, my friend, don't be too much involved with these three modes of material nature. You must go beyond it. Act on the transcendental plane. So this is the point she's making here. You say you always maintain enmity with the worldly kings. But who are these worldly kings? I think the worldly kings are the senses. They are most formidable and they control everyone. Certainly, you maintain enmity with these material senses. You are never under the control of the senses. Rather, you are the controller of the senses, Rishikesha. My dear Lord, you have said that you are bereft of all royal powers. And that is also correct. Not only are you bereft of material worldly supremacy, but even your servants, those who have some attachment to you, to your lotus feet, also give up the material worldly supremacy, because they consider the material position to be darkest region, the darkest region, which checks the progress of spiritual enlightenment. Your servants do not like material supremacy. So, what to speak of you? So, she's saying here that, yes, you say you are poor, you are penniless, you are pichekare. That's true. Krishna is not interested in material wealth. The material wealth got no value. In fact, she's saying here that actually you are the source of all this material wealth. Janmadiya Asya Yata. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 1, first line. It establishes who Krishna is. Janmadiya Asya Yata. This Krishna is the one from which the spiritual world emanates and also the material world emanates. So everything belongs to him already. Actually, there's no question of him being rich or poor. When everything is yours already, how you can say you are rich or poor? When everything exists because of you, how can you say, I own this or I own that? Because we don't have, therefore we say, oh, this is my money, this is my car, this is my house. But when you are the source of all of these things, how you can say you are rich or you're poor? So she says, you are correct, you are poor. You're very poor. Not only that, actually you are not interested in anything material. Casa, Vida, Gadi, Pilinge, all this is nonsense. You're not interested. And she's saying that your devotees are the same like you also. Same gang. Not interested. My dear Lord, your statement that you do not act as an ordinary person with a particular aim in life is also perfectly correct. Even your great devotee servant known as great sages and saintly persons remain in such a state that no one can get any clue to the aim of their lives. They are considered by the human society to be crazy and cynical. Their aim of life remain a mystery to the common man, to the common human being. The lowest of mankind can know neither you nor your servants. A contaminated human being cannot even imagine the pastimes of you and your devotees. They remain a mystery to the common human being. How can they understand your motives and endeavor? All kinds of energies, opulence are engaged in your service, but still they are resting at your shelter. So she's saying here that all those who are not your devotees, they cannot understand you. They cannot understand you. Just like a very good example to explain this is the pastime of Lord Brahma being bewildered by Krishna. Brahma vivo manam lila. You know, Brahma could not understand that this small boy in Vrindavan, this blue-colored boy in Vrindavan, is the supreme personality of Godhead. Despite all his children, all the devas, they tell him, they say, he's the Supreme Lord. No, he's the Supreme Lord. No. When Lord Brahma went to see this small village boy in this Vrindavan village, and what he saw totally bewildered Lord Brahma. No. Why? No. Because Brahma's experience with the Supreme Lord before that was Lord Rama, Lord Vamana, Lord Narasimha, Lord Matsya, all this incarnation all very proper, very pakka, they do everything very nicely, like Lord Rama, he did everything perfectly. He eats with his right hand, and he speaks very nicely. When he's not supposed to speak, he don't speak like that. No, but when Lord Brahma looked at Krishna, the small boy in Vrindavan, Krishna did everything opposite. He eat with his left hand, which is considered dirty. He will do things like, this his good friend, what's his name? This Madhumangala. Madhumangala like to eat what? He like to eat, he was constantly eating, laddu, jalebi, eating. And this Krishna will do what? No, sometimes he eat, the mouth will be full, no. Like that, no. Krishna will go up to him and just pop his cheek, The food will fly out and Krishna will just eat like that. Krishna will do all like a thing. So Brahma looking at this totally bewildered, saying, how can this be the supreme personality of Godhead? Cannot be. It's totally bewildered. So therefore, Lord Brahma, that's why he did this kidnapping. He kidnapped the cowherd boys, he kidnapped the calves, because he wanted to test. And then when he saw with his own two eyes that this boy expanded himself as the 400 Vishnu, as all the cowherd boys and all the calves, then only Krishna, this Lord Brahma, he realized, I made a big mistake already. I offended the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is a very good example. She's making this point also here. Nobody can understand you. Cannot understand one. You have described yourself as penniless, but this condition is not poverty. Since there is nothing in existence but yourself, you do not require to possess anything. You yourself are everything. Unlike others, you do not require to purchase anything extraneously. With you, all all contrary things can be adjusted because you are absolute. You do not possess anything, but no one is richer than you. You do not possess anything, but no one is richer than you. How to understand this? No one is richer than you. In this material world, no one can be rich without possessing. Since your lordship is absolute, you can adjust the contradiction of possessing nothing, but at the same time being the richest. In the Vedas, it is stated that although you have no material hands and legs, you accept everything which is offered in devotion by the devotees. You have no material eyes and ears, but still you can see everything everywhere, and you can hear everything everywhere. Although you do not possess anything, the great demigods who accept prayers and worship from others come and worship you to solicit your mercy. how can you be categorized among the poor? Huh? So she's making the point here that since everything belongs to Krishna, so how can you say he is rich or poor? That is the thing here. Number one. Number two, she's saying here that all those who are actually very interested in material wealth, they worship the devas. But these very same devas, they worship you. For them to do what they have to do. Their Sakti all come from you. So this is the point she's making here. My dear Lord, you have also stated that the richest section of human society do not worship you. That is also correct. Because persons who are puffed up with material possession think of utilizing the property for sense gratification. When a poverty-stricken man becomes rich, he makes a program for sense gratification. This is due to his ignorance of how to utilize his hard-earned money. Under the spell of the external energy, he thinks that his money is properly employed in sense gratification, and thus he neglects to render transcendental service to you. My dear Lord, you have stated that persons who possess nothing are very dear to you, renouncing everything. Your devotees want to possess you only. I see therefore that a great sage like Narada Muni, who does not possess anything, material property is still very dear to you, and such persons do not care for anything but your lordship. So she's making the same point again, because you are not interested in material things, your devotees are also like that. They are only interested in only one thing, that is to render loving devotional service to you. And this is the mode of Rukmini Devi. This is her mood also. She's not interested in all this. You got, I got, you got three, I got flowers, so what? I got the greatest wealth. I got you as my husband, the supreme personality of Godhead. You know, Akila Rasamrita Murti. Uh, My dear Lord, you have stated that a marriage between a person equal is in status of social standing, beauty, riches, strength, influence, and renunciation can be a suitable match. But this status of life can only be possible by your grace. You are the supreme perfectional source of all opulence. Whatever opulent status of life one may have is all derived from you. As described in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmade Asiyata, you are the supreme source from which everything emanates, the reservoir of all pleasure. Therefore, persons who are endowed with knowledge desire only to achieve you and nothing else. To achieve your favor, they give up everything, even the transcendental realization of Brahman. You are the you are the supreme ultimate goal of life. You are the reservoir of all interests of the living entities. Those who are actually well motivated desire only you, and for this reason they give up everything to attain success. They therefore deserve to be associated with you. In the society of servitor and served in Krishna consciousness, one is not subject to the pains and pleasure of material society, which function according to sex attraction. Therefore, everyone, man and woman, should seek to be an associate in your society of servitor and served. You are the supreme personality of Godhead. No one can excel you, nor can anyone come up to an equal level with you. The perfect social system is that in which you remain in the center, being served as the supreme, and all others engage in as your servitor. In such a perfectly structured society, everyone can remain eternally happy and blissful. So she's making the point here of what is known as Varnashrama Dharma. This Varnashrama Dharma, to properly understand it, is actually the social system that is existing in Vaikuntha. This Varnashrama Dharma is a social system that is existing in Vaikuntha. So therefore Krishna introduced this system here in part, not in full, in part. so that all of us can live our life in such a way that we put Krishna in the center. Krishna is in the center. The moment Krishna is not in the center of your life, you will get all the problems that we are experiencing now in this great advanced material world that we have. Economy about to crash, people are unhappy, wealth is growing, but they're not in the hands that people that need it. All this kokamak is going on. Why? Because Krishna is not in the center. Everybody is thinking, I'm the enjoyer. Why you should enjoy? I should enjoy. So there's always fighting going on. Why? Because Krishna is not in the center. If Krishna is in the center, everybody's focus all got in the at Krishna only. No time to look at you and to fight with you. That is the system that Krishna introduced here. It is Vanashrama Dharma. My My Lord, you have stated that only the beggars praise you, praise your glories, and that is also perfectly correct. But who are those beggars? Those beggars are all exalted devotees, liberated personalities, and those in the renounced order of life. They are all great souls and devotees who have no other business than to glorify you. Such great souls forgive even the worst offenders. These so-called beggars execute their spiritual advancement of life, tolerating all kinds of tribulation in the material world. My dear husband, do not think that out of my inexperience I accept you as my husband. Actually, I followed all these great souls. I followed the path of these great beggars and decided to surrender my life onto your lotus feet. So this is the path in which a devotee should take. Sato Vritti, follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas. That is our ambition. If you are a devotee of Krishna, that should be your ambition. If you're confused as to what you must do, why am I supposed to achieve, just think, what did the Goswamis do? What did the Goswamis do? What did the pure devotees do? We should be following in their footsteps. Very simple. You have said that you are penniless, and that is correct. You distribute yourself completely to those great souls and devotees. Knowing this fact perfectly well, I reject even such great personalities like Lord Brahma and King Indra. My Lord, the great time factor acts as your direct acts under your direction only. The time factor is so great and powerful that within moments it can effect devastation anywhere within the creation. Considering all these factors, I thought Jarasandha, Sisupala, and similar other prince who want to marry me to be no more important than ordinary insects. Yeah, she's right. These fellows, all these characters, all temporary. They all done. Now only they beat their chest. I'm a king. I'm this. I'm rich. I'm this. I'm that. One insect, one COVID-19 come finish it. My dear all-powerful son of Vasudeva, your statement that you have taken shelter within the waters of the ocean, being afraid of the great princess, is quite suitable. But my experience with you is contradictory to this. I have already seen that you kidnapped not factually in the presence of all these princes, this prince, at the time of my marriage ceremony, simply by giving a jerk of the string of your bow, you very easily drove the others away and kindly gave me shelter at your lotus feet. I still remember vividly that you kidnapped me in the same way as a lion forcibly takes his share of the hunted body, driven away all other small animals within the twinkle of an eye. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, I cannot understand your statement that women and other persons who have taken shelter under your lotus feet pass their days only in bereavement. Bereavement means in sadness. From the history of the world, we can see that princes like Anga, Prithu, Bharata, Yayati, and Gaya were all great emperors of the world, and there were no competitors to their exalted position. But in order to achieve the favor of your lotus feet, They renounced their exalted position and entered into the forest to practice penance and austerities. When they voluntarily accepted such a position, accepting your lotus feet, Vetri, lotus feet at all time, does it mean that they were in lamentation or bereavement? So she's making the point that all throughout ages, great kings have sacrificed everything. They gave up everything. They were so powerful. They were so influential and everything. They gave up everything simply to go to the forest to taste this Brahma Bhuta, the transcendental Brahma, to just to go to that to taste his lotus feet. My dear Lord, you had advised me that I can still select another form of princely order and divorce myself from your companionship. But my dear Lord, it is perfectly well known to me that you are the reservoir of all good qualities. Great saintly person like Narada Muni, always engaged simply in glorifying your transcendental character. If someone simply takes shelter of such a saintly person, he immediately becomes free from all material contaminations. And by coming in direct contact with your service, the goddess of fortune agrees to bestow all her blessings. Under the circumstances, what woman who has once heard of your glories from authoritative